Hey beauty queens, welcome back to my channel. She is always talking crazy, but it's always a good time when we make some magic. So we are going to be doing a half up, half down quick weave with crimps in this video. I'm going to be using the Janet bundle hair. It comes with a frontal. I will be using the frontal at a later date, but for right now, we're only going to be using the bundles out of the pack. So it comes with bundles 16, 18, and 20. So for the back, I'm going to be using the 20, and I'm going to be using half of the 18. And for the ponytail, I'm going to be using the other half of the 18 and the 16-inch bundle. So altogether, you're going to need 3 bundles. You normally don't need more bundles than that. The only time you may need more bundles is if you're doing a longer ponytail. And what I mean by that is not longer length with the actual bundle, meaning if your extended ponytail braid is going to be long, the longer it is, the more hair you're going to need. So if you're doing something extremely long, you're going to need more bundles because you're going to need more hair to wrap around the braid. I'm only going to be using her hair. So I only need the 1.5 is going to work for me. I don't need anything more. So first I'm going to start with the braid down in the back. Your braids do not have to be super small. I'm going to be doing a total of 5 braids. I always do this anchor braid because it just holds the hair better so the hair doesn't start slipping out. If you choose not to do it, that's completely up to you. But I always do one just so that all the hair on the neck usually comes out first. And when we do the braid across, it usually holds better. So I always do that braid. It doesn't matter what kind of install I'm doing. That braid always goes across the bottom. So I always do that braid first, then do the opposite side, connect those two, and then fill in the middle. So we've braided everything. We can speed this up. The braid that's left, you're going to sew that down. And then I'm going to start just prepping the front. Before I do the quick weave on the back, I am going to blow her out, do a flat iron on the front of her hair, and mold her ponytail. And then move back onto the back. I'm using Firewall heat protectant. If you've been following me, I've been using that forever. That's what I use as a protectant on the hair when we use any kind of heat. So I'm putting everything in a ponytail. This is what helps me. I don't know what helps everybody else, but this is what helps me. In order for you to have a clean, neat style, you have to have control over the hair. So I put the hair into a ponytail first. Even though I'm going to have to take it out, I put it in it first because it just holds it and I can mold and move and do whatever it is that I need to do. I'm only going to be using Got2b Freeze Spray. I'm not using any edge wax. I'm not using any gel. I'm not using anything but the Got to Be Free spray to mold the ponytail. Now, when I do a little, I'm only doing a little bit of baby hair. When I do that, I will be using the Cream of Nature edge control. But that is the only time I will be using it, and that will be on the baby hairs. That is it. Everything else, I used the Got to Be Free spray. So what you're going to do is you spray the free spray and you brush. Well, I'm wiping with my hand because when you spray, you're going to see like those little white, not white, but you know how when you put the spray on, it has like the little dots. You want to make sure you don't dry the dots like that. That's how you get the little white marks. So you go over it with your hand or go over it with the brush. It's easier for me to just go over it with my hand and wash my hands later. And then blow dry it so that it's clean and slick. That is how I get the ponytail to be super sleek. You have to do it fast because you don't want the client's hair to react to the wetness of the spray. So you want to do it, do it as much as you need to do it, but make sure you're holding it tight as you hold your blow dryer so that you get it completely slick and straight. So she has no baby hair. Like, even her baby hairs are long. So she doesn't really have anything where I can do anything really dramatic, because that would mean that she would just have hair being left out on her face, and we're not doing that. I'm not gonna, cut her natural hair to give her baby hair. No, we're just gonna do a little bit of a swoop on each side, and that's about it. I want to make sure everything is blended properly, and everything looks clean. So I'm just going to use the freeze spray, and I'm going to spray the ponytail, brush where I need to get everything together. And then I'm going to redo the ponytail so that everything is one. That you don't have no hair sticking out. You don't have no flyaways. But by this time, it should be super easy for you to take the ponytail out and put it right back, because the hair is molded in place. So when you take the ponytail out, the hair should be so stiff that it's not wobbling, it's not moving, and, like you won't have to worry about whether or not you're going to have to redo any parts of the hair that's slicked back, because everything should be in place already. So once we redo this ponytail, I'm going to do her braid. That's what we're going to attach the hair to for her ponytail. Also, guys, just for, just to make sure when you're doing this style, please ask your client whether or not it is too tight. Because ponytails tend to, can hurt your client's head. if it is too tight. So you want to make sure that it is comfortable, it's not too tight, and it's not going to bother them. Nobody wants to pay for a style and then have to take it out because they have a headache, or they have to complain to you because it's too tight. So just, talk to your client and make sure everything is good. Yeah, so this is our braid that we're doing. I'm going to do the braid. I'm going to tie a scrunchie on the end of it. Now, I do not, depending on what the client is getting, but for the most part, I do not wrap my ponytail with wrapping strips. I don't feel like it's really necessary. And to me, it makes the ponytail, when you do an extended ponytail, it makes it very stiff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray it with some Got to Be Free spray. I'm going to clip it up, and now we're going to move on to the back. So if you have not watched my video, my quick weave video, the closure quick weave video, you need to go watch that. But this is the same method. It's just that we're not using the strips on the whole head because we're doing a different style. But we're using the wrapping strips to protect, the wrapping strips, and the cap is going to protect your client's hair from getting the glue on it without needing to use Morning Glory or anything crazy. Because who wants to be trying to get that gook out their hair after they take their hair out? Like, you want to be able to just snip the stitches and, go about your business after you take the hair off. Like, you don't want to be bothered with all of the rest of that. So, yeah. After you get everything covered, now you're going to sew the cap on top of it. After you have done all the sewing, you can cut all the excess cap and all the excess wrapping strips off, and then you can begin to lay your tracks down. Now, this is crucial. You want to make sure that you sew the tracks so that they can't be seen. This is the only way your client is going to be able to do the quick weave without any leave out. You have to curve the tracks and you have to place them close together on the ends so that you cannot see them. One track is going to cover the other, so it's going to give the illusion that, she has leave out, which she really doesn't. But you have to make sure the tracks are curved. That is the only way that this method is going to work. So take your time, if you're new, and just curve them all the way to the top. You're going to have the tracks are going to get smaller and smaller and smaller as you get to the very top. And then you're going to have like a little bit of space. I made a closing, like the old school sewings where you get everything sewn in a circle and then you make the little piece in the middle. I made a very tiny one to where you can't even see it. So we did everything. As you can see, you'll see it better once everything is complete though. But as you can see, she has no leave out and you cannot see it. You cannot see the tracks. None of her tracks are showing. That's why I'm telling you guys it's crucial to make sure those tracks are close together and they are curved. So now I'm going to start with the leftover bundle. That is the half of the 18 inches. We used the 20 and half of the 18 for the back. So we have the other half of the 18 left. So to start, I'm only going to be using pins at the very bottom. And because this track is not going to go all the way to the top, at the end of this track, I'm going to be using pins. I do not use pins throughout the whole wrap of the ponytail. I literally make sure the pins are very secure on the end, and then I wrap very tight. This is another reason why I don't use the wrapping strip to cover the braid, because I want the braid to be as flimsy as it can be, because if the braid is too stiff, it starts to look weird. If the ponytail can't move, it starts to look weird. So I try to, you want it to look as natural as it possibly can. So I pin the bottom. I put about 3 pins at the bottom, and then once this track is finished, so I put 1 pin, and then I'm going to wrap a piece of this 16-inch around where I stopped that one, and I'm going to put 2 pins, so now it's 3 pins in that, and I'm going to continue to wrap very close together and as tight as I can make it so that it's very secure in. I don't like to use a lot of pins if it's not necessary, and in this case, to me, it's not necessary. This technique works really well. You want to make sure you pin the pins downward, not upward. But altogether, you're probably going to use about 8 pins, 7 or 8 pins. So now we are at the end, we're at the top, and through my whole ponytail half up, half down experience with doing them, pins are a hassle. Pins hurt. If your client moves 1 pin, her whole head is on fire. It's just, pins just do the most. So to alleviate that, I use more than 1 scrunchie. I'm going to glue the last parts of the track onto the scrunchie. After the scrunchie is covered, if you still have hair left, that hair is going to be glued onto the tracks that you have wrapped around already. So you do not have to worry about your client's hair being in jeopardy of breaking or anything like that, because there's no glue on her hair. All right, everything is in there. Everything is secure. And I'm sorry, guys. I forgot to mention that the Janet Collection Brazilian hair that I'm using, the texture is body wave. They do have it in straight as well. So I am using the body wave because I know I'm going to be doing crimps, and the body wave to me will hold the crimps better. But now we're doing our wraparound. So I'm taking a piece of hair from the back. I'm going to spray it with some freeze spray, and then I'm going to wrap it around. This helps when you do this freeze spray or whatever. If you use spritz, pump it up, whatever it is that you choose to use. By doing this, it helps you keep that piece of hair together. You don't got to worry about anything falling out. It's stiff, so it's, it's going to stay together. And then I'm going to just put a tiny bit of glue when we're almost to the end of the piece, just to make sure that it's securely down. If you need to add any more spray, you can definitely do that. And if you need to use your flat iron again, you can definitely do that. But just to make sure everything is clean and neat, you just use the spray, use the flat iron, and you'll already have your wraparound, and you'll already know how it's going to look because you kept it sleek with the spray and the heat. So if we wanted to, we could just leave it like this because this still looks kind of cute. But we're not. We're going to crimp it. So this is, I'm not going to really be doing any commentary during this part because it's self-explanatory. I'm going to be going in row by row to do the crimps. I'm going to be using a Sebastian Shaper to hold it. So I'm going to be spraying each section with the shaper and going in. Crimps take a while to do because you got to stop each time, you know, to make sure that the crimps are in. So, you know, it's a little tedious, but it's no reason. It's self-explanatory. So I'm not going to do any commentary through this part. And that is a wrap. We are all done. It came out so nice. The hair took to the heat really, really well. I think the pack of hair with the frontal is like $92. You cannot beat it. We did not use the frontal, but I will be using the frontal at a later date. This was the Janet Collection bundle hair, Brazilian texture lengths, 16, 18, and 20. I used 20 and half of the 18 for the back, the other half of the 18 and the 16-inch bundle for the ponytail. I will be back with another review, of course. I'll leave all the information below for you guys to purchase and book appointments, and I will see you guys later.